One night, a strong storm blew across the city. In the Secretariat's lawn, a Jamun black plum tree was uprooted and fell. In the morning, when the gardener saw it, he noticed that a man was trapped under the fallen tree. The gardener rushed to the peon. The peon ran to the clerk. The clerk hurried to the superintendent, and the superintendent ran outside to the lawn. Within minutes, a crowd had gathered around the man trapped under the tree. "Poor tree! The jamun tree was so fruitful," said one clerk, "and its jamuns were so juicy," another clerk said, reminiscing. "I used to take home baskets full of fruit during the season," added a third clerk, nearly tearful. "My children used to eat the jamun so happily," said another. "But this man..." The gardener pointed to the man trapped under the tree. "Yes, this man." The superintendent fell into deep thought. "He must have died. Who can survive a heavy tree trunk falling on their back?" said another peon. From under the tree, the trapped man groaned faintly. "No, I'm alive." "We should quickly remove the tree and rescue him," suggested the gardener. "Seems difficult," said a lazy and fat peon. "The trunk is very heavy and thick." "It's not that difficult," said the gardener. "If the superintendent orders, we can quickly gather 15 or 20 clerks and peons and lift the tree off him." "The gardener is right," many clerks agreed. "Let's get to work." Just as everyone was about to act, the superintendent said, "Wait, let me consult the undersecretary first." The superintendent went to the undersecretary, who went to the deputy secretary, who then went to the joint secretary, who approached the chief secretary. The chief secretary said something, which was passed down step by step back to the superintendent. The file kept circulating. Half the day passed this way. By lunchtime, a huge crowd had gathered around the trapped man. People were gossiping about the incident. Some bold clerks decided to act without waiting for official orders. They were about to remove the tree themselves when the superintendent came running, holding a file, and announced, "We cannot remove the tree ourselves. We belong to the Department of Commerce, but this is a tree-related matter, which falls under the Department of Agriculture. Hence, I am urgently sending this file to the Department of Agriculture. Once we receive their reply, the tree will be removed." The next day, the Department of Agriculture replied that since the tree had fallen in the Commerce Department's lawn, it was the responsibility of the Commerce Department to remove it or not. Reading this, the Commerce Department became angry and immediately replied that removing trees was the Agriculture Department's responsibility, and the Commerce Department had no role. The file kept moving for another day. By evening, it was decided that the matter would be handed over to the Horticulture Department because the Jamun tree was a fruit-bearing tree, and the Agriculture Department only dealt with grains and farming issues. On the third day, the Horticulture Department replied with a harsh and sarcastic note. The Secretary of Horticulture, who seemed to be literary-minded, wrote, "It is astonishing that at a time when we are running a large-scale Grow More Trees campaign, there are government officers suggesting cutting down a tree, and that too a fruit-bearing jamun tree whose fruits the public loves to eat. Our department, under no circumstances, permits the cutting down of such a tree." "What should we do now?" someone said. "If the tree can't be cut, maybe the man should be cut in half." "Look," he continued, "if we cut the man right through the torso, one half can come out from under the tree and the tree can stay where it is. But I will die if you do that." The trapped man protested. "He's right," said a clerk sympathetically. The one who proposed cutting the man insisted, "You don't understand. Plastic surgery has advanced so much nowadays. I believe if we cut him through the torso, we can later rejoin him with surgery." The case was now sent to the medical department. They took prompt action. The next day, they sent their best plastic surgeon to investigate. The surgeon examined the trapped man thoroughly, his blood pressure, breathing, heart, lungs, and sent his report. "Surgery can be performed successfully, but the patient will die." Thus that proposal was also rejected. That night, the gardener fed the trapped man some lentils and rice. Although there was heavy police security around the area to prevent anyone from removing the tree unlawfully, one sympathetic constable allowed the gardener to feed the man. The gardener said, "Your file is moving. Hopefully, a decision will come tomorrow." The trapped man remained silent. The gardener asked again, "Do you have any family?" I can try to contact them." "I am an orphan," the trapped man replied weakly. Feeling pity, the gardener left. Later that night, while feeding him porridge, the gardener said, "Your case has reached the highest authorities. Tomorrow there will be a meeting of all the secretaries. They will discuss your case." "I'm hopeful everything will be sorted," the trapped man sighed and recited softly. "We admit you might not show care, but by the time you realize, we will have turned to dust." The gardener looked at him in surprise, putting a finger to his lips. "Are you a poet?" The trapped man nodded faintly. The next morning, the gardener told the peon, who told the clerk, and soon a rumor spread throughout the secretariat. "The trapped man is a poet." Crowds started pouring in to see him. By evening, poets from all neighborhoods had arrived. The secretariat lawn turned into a huge poetry gathering. Many clerks and undersecretaries who had a love for literature stayed back. Some poets started, reciting their poems and ghazals to the trapped man. When it was confirmed that the man was a poet, the Secretariat's subcommittee decided that the case no longer belonged to agriculture or horticulture departments, but rather to the cultural department. A request was sent to the cultural department to quickly make a decision and save the unfortunate poet trapped under the tree. The file went through various sections of the cultural department until it finally reached the secretary of the Literary Academy. The secretary immediately rushed to the secretariat and interviewed the trapped man. "Are you a poet?" he asked. "Yes," replied the trapped man. "What is your pen name?" "OS Stew," the man replied. "OS!" The secretary screamed in excitement. "Are you the same OS who recently published the poetry collection Flowers of Dew?" The trapped man nodded. "And you are not a member of our academy?" the secretary asked in disbelief. "No," the man replied. The secretary beat his forehead in regret. Such a great poet, the author of Flowers of Dew, lying unknown under a tree. "What a tragedy!" "I'm not unknown," said the trapped man weakly. "I'm just trapped under a tree. Please get me out." "We'll arrange something immediately," said the secretary. The next day, the secretary returned joyfully and announced, "Congratulations! You have been selected as a member of our central committee. Here's your letter of appointment. But please get me out from under this tree," gasped the trapped man, whose breath was labored and whose eyes showed he was suffering terribly. "That we cannot do," replied the secretary regretfully. "We have done what we could. In fact, if you die, we can arrange a pension for your widow. If you apply now, we can start the paperwork." "But I'm still alive," the poet said painfully. "Please help me live." "The problem is," said the secretary, wringing his hands, "our department only deals with cultural matters. Cutting down trees involves axes and saws, not pens and papers. So we have forwarded your file urgently to the forest department." That evening, the gardener told the trapped man, "Tomorrow, the forest department's